They say when a nation rises, it does so brick by brick, with every road paved and every pipe laid whispering stories of hope. But what happens when those bricks are handed over by a foreign power, wrapped in promises, and tied with debt? In the heart of the Caribbean, where the reggae rhythm of resilience still pulses through the soil, a new storm is brewing. One not of nature, but of sovereignty. Jamaica, land of fierce pride and powerful people, now stands at the crossroads of transformation and entrapment. $45 billion, that's the number. A figure so colossal it could reshape a continent, yet it's being channeled into one island nation. China, through its state-owned construction giant, CHEOC, has taken center stage with the Spark Project, a sweeping overhaul of Jamaica's infrastructure, from roads and water to fiber optics and buses. The dream? A modern, connected, thriving Jamaica. The fear? A nation so indebted it may find its hands tied behind its back. But to understand how we got here, we must return to the ground realities. For years, Jamaicans have endured roads so battered they could tell their own horror stories. Potholes deep enough to swallow a wheel. Commutes that stretch hours longer than they should. Farmers watching their produce rot in trucks stuck on broken paths. Tourists, frustrated. Businesses, handicapped. And at the core of it all, the people. Working-class Jamaicans whose dreams are delayed daily by the crumbling foundations of their homeland. The government declared the situation a national emergency. And rightly so. Infrastructure was not merely a developmental issue, it became a blockade to the nation's future. From this desperation, the Spark Project was born, a bold initiative, shared prosperity through accelerated improvement to our road network. But roads were just the beginning. China stepped in, wallet wide open, plans on the table. It promised not just smooth highways, but advanced water pipelines, high-speed internet, modern public transport, and urban resilience. It was a proposal that could transform the face of the island. And so, a historic deal was struck. $45 billion invested, with CHEOC leading the charge. On paper, it's a miracle. But under the surface, deep questions bubble like a dormant volcano. Jamaica is no stranger to debt. For decades, the island has struggled under the weight of loans, often negotiated under harsh conditions with Western institutions. Now, with Chinese loans coming in, some fear history repeating itself, only this time with different actors. China's Belt and Road Initiative has been expanding aggressively, laying down highways in Africa, ports in Latin America, and digital infrastructure in Asia. And wherever it goes, it leaves behind a trail of transformed cities and deep concerns. Critics warn of the dreaded debt trap diplomacy. In other parts of the world, nations that defaulted on Chinese loans were forced to cede control of critical infrastructure, ports, railways, even airports. Could Jamaica be next? Will this beacon of Caribbean pride soon find its most vital arteries owned by foreign hands? And then there's the question of who truly benefits. Will Jamaican workers fill the job sites, or will Chinese labor be flown in, sidelining local talent? Will small Jamaican contractors win tenders, or will Chinese firms dominate the contracts? Will knowledge and skills be transferred to empower future Jamaican engineers, or will the island remain dependent long after the final brick is laid? The government insists it's under control. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has repeatedly stated that the Spark Project is a catalyst for national revival. Job creation, economic revitalization, and digital expansion are his mantra. And yes, about 13,000 direct jobs are expected to be generated during peak construction. Training programs are being introduced to ensure Jamaicans can take up technical and managerial roles. The roads will not only connect cities, they'll connect people to possibilities, hospitals, schools, markets, and opportunities once unreachable. But there's an old saying in Africa, when the music changes, so must the dance. Jamaica is now dancing to a new rhythm, one composed by global power plays. For decades, Jamaica leaned heavily on Western partnerships, aid from the World Bank, loans from the IMF, development support from Europe and the West. Now, China enters the scene, changing the tempo. Will Jamaica be able to keep its cultural beat, or will it lose its rhythm to foreign tunes? Transparency is another thorn in the foot. Concerns have been raised about how contracts were awarded. Was the bidding process open? Are there proper oversight mechanisms to ensure the people get value for money? The Jamaican government has promised more disclosures, regular updates, and stronger watchdog institutions. But trust, once lost, is not easily regained. Let's talk about the impact. The real, everyday impact. Imagine mothers in rural parishes no longer walking miles to fetch clean water because new pipelines have finally reached their communities. Imagine students logging onto fast internet connections in once-forgotten towns, accessing digital classrooms that prepare them for a global future. Imagine a farmer reaching a market hours earlier because a once-dirt path is now a paved road. These are not fantasies. They're promises carved into blueprints and construction timelines, but they must not remain only promises. Midway through this story, we pause to thank the powerful minds and hearts that follow Voice of Africa. Your voices, your questions, and your passion keep this movement alive. To our subscribers, Super Thanks supporters, and viewers across the globe, your commitment fuels this Pan-African journey of truth, justice, and pride. Continue to raise your voices, share these stories, and never stop asking the hard questions. This is your platform. This is your Africa. Thank you. Now back to the fire under the surface. Debt sustainability is no small matter. Jamaica's debt-to-GDP ratio, though improved over recent years, remains fragile. The loans financing Spark must be repaid, and the terms of those loans matter immensely. Experts caution against interest rates that balloon, grace periods that vanish too quickly, and repayment plans that outlast the infrastructure itself. If not carefully managed, this shining project could become a shadow looming over future generations. Even more concerning is the growing geopolitical tension. China's presence in Jamaica is not isolated. It's part of a larger global strategy. And while China brings expertise and resources, it also brings leverage. Will Jamaica still be able to make sovereign decisions if it owes billions to Beijing? Will it be pressured to align foreign policies or trade decisions with Chinese interests? The stakes are high, and history offers many cautionary tales. Still, not everything is bleak. This moment, this crossroads, is also an opportunity. With proper governance, strong leadership, and engaged citizens, Jamaica can harness this investment to leapfrog into the future. Spark can become more than a project. It can become a legacy, one that raises living standards, strengthens the economy, and reconnects the people to the promise of prosperity. But vigilance is essential. Civil society must watch, journalists must dig, academics must analyze, and the people, Jamaicans from Kingston to Montego Bay, must stay alert. For when billions flow, so can corruption. Transparency is the shield, and unity is the sword. This isn't just a story about Jamaica. It's a reflection of the broader global struggle playing out across Africa, the Caribbean, and beyond. Sovereign nations with rich cultures and strong people must decide how to engage with global giants. Partnerships can be empowering, but they must be on equal footing. The era of neo-colonialism, whether from the East or West, must never rise again. Jamaica's story is our story. It's the story of Africa, of Haiti, of Ghana, of every land that was once plundered and is now rising. It is a reminder that infrastructure is not just about concrete, it is about power. Roads can liberate or enslave. Pipelines can nourish or bind. Fiber optics can connect or surveil. And buses can drive progress or drive debt. So, What is spark really? Is it a torch lighting the path to the future, or a fuse leading to another kind of explosion? Time will tell. But one thing is certain, only the people can decide. If Jamaicans stand vigilant, if leaders act with integrity, and if foreign partners are held accountable, then this $45 billion project could indeed become the miracle it promises to be. And if not, then it becomes yet another chapter in the long, painful book of promises made to the global South and not kept. But not this time. Not if the people rise, not if the youth stay conscious, not if you, watching this, understand the stakes and speak. Because sovereignty is not just defended at borders. It is defended in contracts, in construction sites, in schools, in every pipe laid and every brick placed. This is not just a Jamaican story. It is an African story. It is your story.